Hello, comrades. It's Joel Ellison with Pinnacle Gunsmithing. I'm supposed to be talking about an AK today, but somehow this kitty jumped in my arms. This is clearly not an AK. This is CAT, Standard Model, Mark 1, Mod 0. But in any case, we'll get to talking about AKs here in a minute. I have a special one for you. This one is a Romanian parts kit built from 1986. So yes, it is about as old as I am. In any case, it's got a 16-inch barrel, and we have nice slant brake muzzle and proper bayonet lug and cleaning rod, proper leather sling, the dong grip of all things. Yes, it's what most people actually call it. And we have a Nodak spud receiver. Some of the rivets are kind of meh, and we have a safety that doesn't quite fit the top cover terribly well. Nice wooden buttstock, and even a proper butt trap, along with our Bakelite grip. And yeah, we'll be diving into this and see what makes her tick. In any case, let's get into it. Okay, first, a disclaimer. This is YouTube, and I'm not selling guns on YouTube. I am a gunsmith. I'm certified and licensed, but I do not encourage anyone to modify or disassemble their own firearm. This is for informational and educational purposes only. In any case, let's go ahead and get back into it. First question a lot of people ask that know a little bit about AKs, like surface level knowledge. So they know that magazines are a rock and lock type. This particular one's a 40 rounder. And they know that this dog grip is kind of forward of the magazine well. And if you can see around the cat there, it really doesn't interfere with it at all. Yep. I don't know if you can see all that, but yep, right there is about all it comes to. Yep. And you can absolutely take magazines in and out, just with that forward sweep in there. This particular one has a big gap in there. I know you can see my thumb there from the other side. And yeah, I can kind of stick my fingers down in there, which is not great. The dong grip does keep your hand away from the very hot parts of the rifle, like the barrel and the gas tube. But yeah, it's really not bad. The dust cover on here is original to the rifle. It's got these nice ribs up top for your pleasure, and also for strength. But it's a little loosey-goosey in there. I don't know if you can see how much play there is, but I can push it from the back and make it move that much. And yeah, it's a little rough. The rivets on these are not great. I'm going to go ahead and get it down on the bench, and we'll talk about it some more. Okay, here we are down on the bench, and we take a look at some of these rivets, and they look rough. Like they were built in someone's garage. Now, I'm not ragging on the dude, or whoever it was, but yeah, these are kind of rough. But it does lend an air of authenticity to it, in my opinion. AKs can be built very rough and still function just perfectly fine. We do have a little bit of reinforcement around the fire control pins. That's the trigger pin, that's the hammer pin. This is a semi-auto AK, so yeah, just one shot at a time, which is honestly the more useful way to go about it. The safety is a little bit stiff, but yeah, that's the off-safe position. And the bolt feels a little rough, but is quite doable. This particular one also has a nice military-style sling that just attaches with a little clip up front and goes through the sling swivel here at the buttstock. Buttstock has a muddle butt pad, a little surrounding ring right there, and we have a little trap in the butt for a cleaning kit, and whatever else you want put in there. In any case, we also have this big G on the side. Don't know what that means. Let's see, original markings. I think this is from the original trunnion. We have a triangle there. That's the Krieger Arsenal in Romania. 1986 as the serial number prefix, which tells you it's about as old as I am. Yes, I am that old. In any case, they were making these right up until the fall of communism in that country, and yeah. Let's see, we have, I don't know if I mentioned up here, but we also have a slant muzzle brake. These are M14x1 left-hand threads, and yes, the muzzle brake wobbles a little bit, but that part really doesn't matter. We have a retainer right here, a little spring-loaded piece, and that interfaces right with our front sight block. It's really pretty solid mounted to the barrel. This is actually pretty accurate. I've been able to get about 3-4 MOA out of it, which is pretty good for an AK, honestly. Oops, I'm knocking hammers off the table now. In any case, let me disassemble, and we'll show you the insides a bit. Alright, first step in disassembly is, of course, make sure it's not loaded. We have our safety off, and we can pull our charging handle back, and we can tell that our chamber is clear. Some of the rivets inside here are also a bit somebody has tried to grind these a little bit flusher in order to not interfere with magazines, which, you know, is a problem. Once we've verified that our weapon is clear, we can push in the spring guide, pull off the top cover. Y'all know the drill. But we are nicely ribbed, and this is serialized to the gun. So if you do lose that top cover, your sergeant can discipline you accordingly. In any case, we have the inside of the AK. I can show you this without the top cover on. That's the basic operation. We have our own safe, and this little piece right here at the back rotates up to block the trigger from coming up. And once we're off safe, we can drop the hammer. That's hitting the back of the firing pin there. And once that comes forward, the hammer is caught by the disconnector right there. When I take my finger off the trigger, boop, pops right back up to the sear. And there we are. Let me take out the recoil spring. And that was just for demonstration purposes. Once the hammer's cocked, I can take the bolt and carrier out. Wow. And the bolt and carrier are also serialized to the rifle. And we put that there and pull it back. And yeah, we have a serial number right there on just behind the bolt lugs. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The machining in here is rough, as you'd expect, because it's an AK. It's what AKs do. And yeah, there's also this little trip here on the side. If you know what that's for, you know. But it's a rotating bolt, long stroke, gas operated rifle. It's pretty much an M1 Garand flipped upside down. That's our unlocked position of the bolt, and when we get into battery, the bolt carrier presses the bolt back into this cam path, and there we are. When we fire, gas comes up from a port in the barrel, about right here, into this gas tube, which hits the front of this piston, pushing this carrier back, and we pull, and that causes the carrier to start moving. And once the bolt reaches that point, it starts to rotate to unlock, and we travel backwards with the recoil spring to eject the previous round, then back forward to load the next one. We hit the front of the trunnion, and there we are. The important out of battery safety for these rifles is that when the bolt is out of battery, the hammer can't hit the firing pin. It only presents to the hammer when it's about right here-ish. Yep, there. And anywhere else, it can't hit the firing pin. We have our cam lug right there that rotates the bolt into lock and unlock positions. We have our extractor right there and an unsprung firing pin right there. All appear in good condition. We have a typical retainer setup for the pins of the fire control group. Our safety can rotate up like so, and you can see it's just that little bit that's keeping the back of the trigger from rising. that's kind of it. And there we go. We have a kind of a key-shaped hole there. It'll only go in or out one way, but you can see the hammer and trigger right there a little better. And yes, this is one spring that's powering both the hammer and the trigger. Okay, the back end just powers that. But that's the fired position. Comes back, boom, hits the disconnector, and pops up into the main sear. If that also sounds familiar, well, it's because it's also taken from an RSC 1917, which also helped inspire the M1 Garand's fire control group. This is a little bit rougher implementation of it, but yeah, it's pretty much an M1 Garand flipped upside down, and that's indeed what Mr. Kalashnikov said he based it on. We have our rear sight that's clearly marked. We have a 100-meter position on out to a very optimistic 1,000 meters. Our P is our battle sight 0. If you're using a belt buckle hold on somebody out to 300 meters, then you'll probably hit somewhere in, a vital zone-ish. In any case, we can take our front gas tube off like this. This particular lever is kind of stiff, but it moves. And we have our gas tube, also serialized to the rifle. So yeah, this is an original part. Kind of star-shaped tube down there, just crimped in place. Our gas escape holes are all up here. This just bleeds off excess gas because it generates excess gas. Because yeah, it's an AK. The barrel is chrome lined. I think it's original too. Nowadays it's getting a little hard to find the original barrels, but that may be changing here soon. It's actually pretty darn accurate, as I said before, but yeah, it's pretty nice. Let's see. Oh, we also have our ejector right there. It's spot welded into the receiver. This is a stamped sheet metal receiver, and yeah, it's a genuinely nice product from Nodak Spud. Oh, here's most of its markings down here. Model NDS1 762x39, and made in Minnesota. I think Palmetto State Armory has actually bought them, and a few other businesses. But yeah, they do good work. In any case, let me get this put back together, and I'll go ahead and close out the video. Alright, here we have it all back together. So what do you think of this Romanian AK? Should I keep it? Should I sell it? What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. I want to thank you for sticking with us, and keep in mind that you're allowed to like cool guns from other places. If all you shoot's ARs, and yes, ARs are a way more practical platform for just general everyday use. Way more accurate, way more accessories, way more easier to change things out on them and modernize. But it's just sometimes it's just cool to use an old gun with a semi-obsolete caliber, and I like them. In any case, please keep your comments civil, and if you'd like to support our channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you want to support us more directly, head to our website at pinnaclemountaingunsmithing.com, and we can do all kinds of work on your AK too. In any case, this has been Joel Ellison of Pinnacle Mountain Gunsmithing, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!